In this video, we're checking the homework in 5-7. We have b plus 4/5 equals 9/10. So we're going to subtract 4/5 from both sides. So what we end up with is b equals 9/10 minus 4/5. We've got to get a common denominator. I have enough room here, so I'm going to rewrite this. My common denominator is going to be 10. So I need 4/5 to be a fraction over 10. That's going to be 8/10. So 9/10 minus 8/10 would be 1/10. On this one, I will subtract 3/4 from both sides. So we're going to get m equals 1 over 4 minus 3 over 4, which is 1 minus 3 over 4. Change your signs and add, and you're going to get negative 2 over 4, which will reduce to negative 1/2. On this one, I'm going to subtract 3/16 from both sides. And I've got a common denominator, so 5/16 minus 3/16. C is going to be 2/16, which will reduce to 1/8, dividing both the top and the bottom by 2. Number 7 says Gerald's goal is to be half finished with his book he is reading by Friday. By Wednesday, he has read 1/3 of the book. How much more does he need to read to meet his goal? So he's already done 1/3. How much more does he need to do to get it to equal 1/2 of the book? So I'm going to subtract 1/3 from both sides. So we get x equals 1/2 minus 1/3. We're going to need a common denominator, which is going to be 6. So I'm going to multiply this first fraction by 3 over 3, which would give me 3 over 6. And this second fraction, I'm going to multiply by 2 over 2. It would look like that if you wrote it in there. So he needs to read 1/6 of the book. Number 9, we add 2/3 to both sides. The common denominator here, multiplying both by 3, this would be 6 over 9. So we get 4 over 9 plus 6 over 9. So we get 10 over 9, which is 1 1/9. And again, you get that. It'll go in 9 times with 1 left over, and that's how you get your fraction, your mixed number. Add 5/8 to both sides. And so we get n equals 1/2 plus that 5/8. 1/2. If you multiply by 4 over 4, you're going to get 4/8. That's your common denominator. I'm trying to show this step separately. You may be able to fit it in here, 4 over 4, and rewrite this as 4/8 plus 5/8. If I'd have left room, I probably would have done it horizontally like that. So we get 9/8, which doing this same process that we just did right here, we would get 1 1/8. Add 5/8 to both sides. And we're just going to get j equals 3 5/8, because the 3 is a whole number. So a whole number plus the fraction is just a mixed number. Okay, in my original video, I had written the problem down wrong. So we're going to subtract 2 1/2. So I'm splicing this in from both sides. And I'll show you this both ways. So we could have 5 1/4, writing it wrong again, minus 2 1/2. This is showing it vertically. This would be 5 2/8. Nope, I don't need to do that. 1 1/4, or minus 2 2/4. But we are going to have to borrow from this 5, making it 4 4/4. And since we already had 1/4 there, that means we're going to have 4 5/4, minus 2 2/4. So 5/4 minus 2/4 is 3/4. 4 minus 2 is 2. And then showing it to you horizontally, You've got 5 1/4 minus, I keep doing that, 5 1/4 minus 2 1/2. 5 times 4 is 21 over 4 minus 2 times 2 is 4 plus 1 is 5 over 2. I'm going to have to multiply this by 2 over 2 to get me a common denominator. 21 over 4 minus 10 over 4 is 11 over 4, which is that 2 3/4. So W equals 2 3/4. Somewhere you need to show either the horizontal or the vertical work to get to that answer. Okay, 17 is pretty straightforward. You just subtract 7 5/9 from both sides, and you get Z equals 0. And hopefully you could see that if you take a number and add 7 5/9 to it and get 7 5/9, that number has to be 0. On number 19, we're going to subtract 4 7/8. So I have 2 minus 4 7/8. You're going to end up with negative 2 7/8. Let me show you how you do this in two different ways. Actually, I think I want to do it as a mixed number or as an improper fraction. So 4 times 8 is 32. This would be 39 over 8. I'm going to multiply this by 8 over 8 to give me, so I'm going to have 16 over 8 minus 39 over 8. 16 minus 39. Change my signs and add. So find the difference between 16 and 39. We get 23. So we have 23, negative 23 over 8. It'll go in 2 times, which would be 16 with 7 left over. So there's my 2 7/8. If you wanted to look at it this way, keeping it as 2 minus 4 7/8, or as this, you would change your sign and add, which means we have a positive 4 7/8, or a negative 4 7/8 and a positive 2. We would subtract and keep the sign of the larger, which is the negative. So that would give us our negative 2 7/8. That one, the fractions were a little more difficult on. Okay, in 21, it says without solving, tell whether x is going to be positive, negative, or 0. Well, I know it's not 0 because I don't end up with the same thing here that I have here. So I know it's not 0. Is it positive or negative? Well, I can tell that if I rewrite this fraction as something over 10, and that would be 5 times 5 would give me 5 over 5 times that fraction would give me 5 over 10. So I have some number plus 9/10 equals 5 over 10. So if you look, 9/10 became 5/10. It got smaller. This has to be negative. And the reason is because the 9/10 became a smaller fraction on the right-hand side of the equal sign. So I have to be adding a negative number to it.